Hey guys, so I'm actually going to do a voiceover for this video because I get tired of listening to the high-pitched music because that's what I listen to is music. Whenever I'm painting, pretty much if I'm not watching a movie, I'm listening to music. Okay, so right now I'm actually in a hotel room in Alabama, but that's a great, perfect place to do this. So I kind of just want to talk a little bit about this painting that I'm working on. Obviously. So it's made out of oil paint, and the oil paint that I use to make all these colors is just Gamblin white, titanium white, and just Gamblin ivory black. The titanium obviously is toxic because it has titanium, and the ivory black is non-vegan because it obviously uses bone. It's a product of the meat industry. So I mix those colors, and there's videos of me mixing them as well, just I think in my vlogs or something like that. Yeah, so like the brushes that I use, I'm actually really only using two. It's one round, which is what you'll see right now, and then a 1/4, which is like a flat, but it's tilted, so I guess it's called a shader. Those are both fabulous. This is a Simmons. I normally use Simply Simmons or something. I normally use Dynasty Princeton. No, not Dynasty. It's a Princeton Catalyst is what I normally use. Those are really expensive, and actually they really don't last that long, so I'm sort of transitioning. I just bought some new ones, but like I started using it on this painting actually to do color on the geometric icebergs, and it was already, you know, fraying. So I was like, okay, no, you need to find something new. Okay, my battery totally died. So, anyway, when I first started editing this video, I was like going through every single part where I was like either changing the color of the paint or wiping it or something. Just I went through all that, and literally it was taking forever, and it was like I had only gone like 3.5 minutes in. So I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna make this video 450% time, and it's just gonna be fast, and also kind of there's going to be a lot of blank spots, but I figured I would do a voiceover so it was a little bit more interesting. You weren't just staring at a blank screen with like this high-pitched music going. Anyway, so this painting is hand-stretched canvas that I stretched myself, and I got the stretcher bars from Binders and the canvas from Binders, and I chose this orientation because I have been doing a lot of things that are this elongated rectangle. It's called a landscape, and I've sort of found it fitting that I'm actually finally doing a landscape because I had just been doing these like geometric paintings that don't really have a lot of background, so I wanted to explore depth with this one. The guy that I'm seeing, his name is Luke, he recommended that, like, we were doing a little critique when we were out one night at the bar. He was like, I really want to see some depth in your paintings. I want to see you overwork one of them. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I had already had this canvas, and I was actually going to do a cow, but I decided that I wanted to do this. The reasons being is because it just seemed fitting. A lot of what my paintings are about, there's a video about this, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but this is an apocalyptic occurrence. That I'm actually using two images that I got off of Google. One is the ice cave, which is, it's hard to see, but it's around the top, and the right side you can see it. And then a second image, which is where I'm getting the painting that I'm working on right now. Those two cliff looking things. They were, I don't know how to explain this, but like the top one, they're both real images. Like they're both like pictures from like Antarctica or someplace that has a lot of ice. You name it, where it could be anywhere. The background actually had penguins in the picture, so I don't really know where that would be, but I took the penguins out, sorry. And then the top one was it was close up. I really liked it because it almost feels like you're going to be outside, you're inside the cave looking out when it is all finished and colored and everything. But the top part was so hard because it's not geometric in real life. It's not simple geometric in real life, so I had to like, it took a really long time, a lot of decisions that had to be made to sort of go through and decide, okay, this is just going to be this one color area. I had to like choose which is the main color of that area and call it this is a mid-tone, this is a dark tone, this is a light tone. It was hard, but that's how I do that. So I just had to simplify it. Somebody asked me on Instagram, what program do you use to make your geometric thing? And I'm like, my brain. I hated to be sarcastic because he was asking a genuine question, but really that is the only machine or the only software that I use is my brain to figure that out, and it takes forever. But it's so worth it, always. A sip of water. Okay, so that's a little bit about the composition. In terms of process, oh, and there's like way more pictures of this like in progress and like gonna be later when I have more color on it. All that stuff is all in the vlogs on the same channel. In terms of process, I do everything in this grayscale. It's called a grisaille or underpainting. It's all grayscale, and basically it just, you can prime your canvas or tone your canvas. A lot of artists will do that, and I've always been taught to do that. Not exactly taught. This is what I was taught. I've had it recommended to me to tone it first, but sort of what I'm doing here, just adding this extra layer. I have seen, and it's been proven to me, that if you just do alla prima or direct on the canvas without this underpainting, it's a lot flatter and it doesn't seem as vibrant, because when you have this grayscale and you have this value scale underneath and you add color on top, the color and the gray scale sort of mesh together, and you can see the gray underneath the color, and it blocks light in a different way, and it reflects light in a different way, and it's just so much more vibrant and so much more like, I don't know, radiant, and I think it looks so much better, so that's why I do it. And it's very tedious, and I've gotten a lot of criticism for doing this, taking all these extra steps, but I love painting. I just really love doing it. If I can be doing it right now, I would. If I wasn't in Alabama on a work trip, I would totally be painting right now, and I wish I could be. I'm not going to be in the studio for almost a week because I'm working out here on the boonies. So I love painting, and then I have my professor, actually, Craig Drennan. Awesome dude. I want to make him my mentor. He doesn't know this yet, but you and I both know now. Look him up, he's cool. Craig Drennan, he's hilarious. He was like, do you feel like it takes you a really long time to start your paintings? I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, yeah, well, maybe you should try blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I really like doing it like this. I like it. He's like, do you feel like it's tedious? I was like, well, yeah, but I like it. Like, I like this stuff. Like, I like doing it, so whatever. I do what I want. I do what I want. So after I get all this done, the background done, in this little bottom, basically almost in the direct middle of the bottom, there's like this line work, that white line work that I'm not painting all the way to. That's going to be a very realistically painted paper bag that's all crumpled and has a little M on it, like a McDonald's bag. Like a McDonald's bag, it's sort of like that. Anyway, so I'm going to paint that last. I just need to get around to it. I actually got tired of using gray. I got tired of the gray. I was just like, I want to use color. So I haven't actually painted that part yet, and it's going to be after I finish all the color of the one part that I'm doing. So I'm painting the icebergs, if you will, not the background. I'm leaving the background gray. The background is going to stay gray. The only thing that's going to have color is a yellow M on that bag, and a little bit of just like scumbling and glazing, however you want to call it, on the bag for just a little bit of color. And then the geometric part around the outside is going to be full color. And those are the colors that I'm using, are like, also you can see that on Instagram. It's like, I only use 3 colors. I used Gamblin yellow, phthalo turquoise from Winsor & Newton. I used titanium white again to mix a scale of those, and then I had, what was the other color? Emerald green from Gamblin. And I made, oh my gosh, a shit ton of colors in different values. I basically made 3 colors and then just did value scales in them, which is what I do. So I see, like, for example, say like the very lightest one is going to be a mixture of yellow and a mixture of the phthalo, and I find wherever the whitest, you know, gradation, not gradation, but the lightest plane, so say white, I actually used just titanium white on one of those planes. You can see one in the top right over there. I do every single one of those planes that are pure white in that exact combination, and I just like mix them together like a gradation. So then that's done. All the white is done. Next, what's the next color? It's the very next step from the lightest white, which is like basically the only white that's on there. It's because once you cover the white, it still looks white. I don't know, that was confusing, whatever. The next lightest color. And then I say, okay, well maybe I want to use yellow and then the emerald green this time. So I use the 2 lightest colors that I mixed from that, and I mix them together in a gradation as well. And so I do that entire thing, and it goes all the way down to like the black. And it's a lot, and it's really big, and I forgot to actually mention the size of this. It's 27 by 62. That's a person. That's wider than a person, but almost as tall as me, and I'm almost 6 foot. So it's big, and it's a huge monster, and I love it, and it's the first thing I've actually painted in oil painting that is this size. And actually done the entire thing, and that's in oil. So I'm so stoked to see what it finally looks like at the end. And I know it's going to look great because I'm putting a lot of time into it. I'm not making this for anybody. It's not for school. It's just for me. And I'm excited about it. So I know it's going to look great. So that was what I was going to say, was like the gray is going to stay in the background and in the icebergs that I'm working on right now. And then the color around the outside. So one question that I get a lot as well is like, where did this geometric thing come from? I'll see if I can answer this in like 6 minutes. That's about all I have left. It started in one of my classes. It was a selected topics class, and for that class, ooh, that was my wrist. The topics, we had to just like make lists, and we had to like randomly select things off that list to like make paintings from, and then I ended up with like the 4 humors, and then I was like, well, the 4 humors reminds me of medieval times, and it reminds me of stained glass, and I really wanted to make stained glass for this class. Excuse me, I really wanted to make stained glass for this class that I was taking, but my professor was like, well, there's a learning curve for that, so maybe you should just make something that looks like stained glass first. I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. So I made an eagle and a monkey and a couple other animals that I wanted to make. I made a bull, but it wasn't exactly there. The eagle was breaking apart. It was heavy because it was, which humor was it? I can't remember. I think sanguine was like no, the monkey was sanguine. Oh gosh, phlegmatic. I honestly can't remember which humor the eagle was, but it was breaking apart, and like some of the glass was like falling down. So what I had done was drawn the eagle out in like as naturalistic as possible, and then I separated him into planes and just used color to designate the different planes of the eagle, and then had it like breaking open and just these little planes of glass. So I did more and more with that. I started doing the watercolors that you will see periodically on my Instagram. There's like, I'm trying to think what's on there. That's pretty popular. There's like this kangaroo. There is these 2 flamingos. The last things that I've actually done in this style were for the zoo, and that was a giraffe, carousel giraffe, and then the pretty much everything I did for the zoo was this style. So it kind of has just evolved from there. And so this time around, I didn't want to do animals because I had been doing that for a while, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I really like the concept of this, and you can go back and see, there's a video called What Are My Paintings About? It's me wearing a blue shirt looking to the right or the left or something. It talks about that. So that's where that came from. Hope that answers that question. What else? What else can I say about this? Because I got a few minutes left. My studio is awesome. My studio is in Atlanta. It's in Midtown. It's at this place called Strongbox West. I have a room I rent for myself. I started renting it about 4 or 5 months ago, and since then the facility has totally blown up. It's super popular and super crowded now. So I had got a really great deal on my room because it was just a raw room, and they were like, okay, you can do whatever you want to it, and I have. So that's my studio. I actually need to do like a full studio tour to like show everything I have in there sometime. Like, I just prefer to paint and stuff instead of just like making videos about all the painting supplies that I have. I would rather actually paint with them instead of just make that video. I'll do it eventually though. So I think that's really all. I just feel bad that there are a lot of like just like weird like gaps in this, like weird like space, like just staring at the painting gaps, but I just can't. I can't. I can't do all of them because I would literally be here for forever, and it's already 8. And I drove for 2 hours and worked for 7 hours today and got up at like 7, and I'm just tired. I'm just tired. So anyway, I think I'm gonna leave you to it. There's only a little bit left. Anyway, so thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, you are cool. I would have had a hard time myself because it's hard to listen to me randall. The painting is cool, but like I'm not that interesting. So anyway, if you want to see more of this, I will have more up, and I also have some on Instagram, and I have some in the blogs. Just periodically I'll post some things. I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye.